As I'm just sat in the office this evening editing the videos that I've taken throughout the day, I just thought I'd give you a little intro. You'll see that Ian from Ask Roofing came along and had a look at the roof on the barn that needs replacing, and he's confirmed that they'll be able to start taking off the slates next week. I've still not got a final quote from him, so he has promised me that he will give that to me so that I've got a good idea of the total cost. But for now, just from a safety point of view, we need to get the slates off so that the roof doesn't actually collapse. Tomorrow also heard from Neil, our waller, who was hoping to come in today to have a look at the area that needs walling across the entrance to the yard. And he wasn't able to come, but he has said that he can fit in coming to start building that from next Thursday, which is rather exciting. Mondays always tend to be quite busy here, and today was no different. It was just Hol and myself today. Unfortunately, we didn't have Jodie. We had Chris in doing Teddy Bear's feet. As you'll see, that's been a little bit worrying. He's back in tomorrow to finish him off, and you'll see in the video the reason for that. The rain is still coming. It's forecast to keep raining most of the week, but we're hoping that it's wrong. Enjoy these clips from today. They're as random as they usually are. But as always, thank you again for watching. Thank you for your support on our 100k campaign. And it's only thanks to that we can get the likes of Ian and Neil in to start doing some of the much needed work around the farm. So thank you all. I was about to say, what better way to start today's video than with Rainbow Boy Nero, and then he just walks round and he pees. So sorry, maybe not the best way to start today's video, but look, you can look at his gorgeous little face as well. It's very important to have early morning pee, isn't it, Nero? He's been on the walker this morning, although I have to say he looked a little bit stiff in that leg when he came out today, and I ummed and ahed about whether to just pop him in the turnout or pop him on the walker. But I think, you know, with any kind of arthritic pain, it's very often best to just keep moving. So he did 10 minutes on the walker, and now he's in here for the day. Meanwhile, I've got Wren here, who spent the night in as well. She was very keen to go back down to the field this morning and was trying to escape. So I'm gonna just do a little 10 minutes of groundwork with her, just do some nice early morning stretches, and then she can head back out with all her buddies. Oh, Teddy Bear is straight onto the stones here because we had to move the barriers across last night. Well, in fact, the night before, because of the gale force winds. And look, because we've moved the barriers, he's now going to poo there. So sorry, this isn't a very good start to the video, really, is it? Like Nero peeing, Teddy Bear pooping. Ah, Renska, what would you like to do for the video now? Neither of those, I hope. I'm just doing a few stretches with Wren. Nothing exciting, just really doing her morning Pilates. While I'm here, we'll notice this morning how many midges have started coming out, which reminds me that I need to sort out fly sheets for everybody. I have been speaking to a UK company called Ruggles, who are going to do us a good deal on some fly sheets, but it will be something that I'll be offering the opportunity to sponsor each rug and have your name on, just like we did for their winter turnout rugs. So watch out for that coming soon. You can see some of those little midges flying around. That's why she's flicking her tail quite a lot, because even just these tiny little midges can irritate them. This is quite an interesting exercise that I'm doing with Wren at the moment, because Wren has, throughout most of her life, always fallen on her right shoulder. So it's her weakness. A lot of it becomes because on her left hind leg, she had a problem with her sesamoid in the hind leg years and years ago. So she's always favoured it. So she gets very tight through this side of her body. So all I'm going to be doing is asking her to walk very slowly in a circle, but to not drop this shoulder into me so that she's pushing through behind. So I'm very conscious of the fact that she's protecting herself, but equally we need to make sure that those muscles stay as soft and as loose as possible. So I'm just lifting my hand up, which tells her she needs to drop her head and neck and relax. And I'm just asking her to step across with her hind leg and keep that shoulder away from me. I'll just go a little bit further over here. Come here, darling. So by just pushing a little bit on her shoulder, she knows she has to move it away from me. And it's just keeping it nice and slow, like she was doing some stretches in the gym. You wouldn't rush those. So there, she's a little bit blocked, which is why she came back. So I just encourage her forward by just giving her a little push on the shoulder. And you know, even just doing this, she's puffing, because you know, this in itself is quite hard work, because she's having to push through with this hind leg. You can't see on the video, but I can see the line of her tummy here, which means that she's working her tummy muscles. Good girl. So I don't do it for long. It's just a little exercise as part of her Get Fit regime for this summer. And I'll be doing my own stretches myself later. Good girl. And it's just giving her the time to think as she's doing it. Good girl. Good girl. Good. Good. And there she's beginning to relax a little bit more. So again, still very slow. Sometimes I'll give a little push on her shoulder, and other times I'll give a little push with my fingers just behind where the girth would go. Good girl, good. Good. Now she's licking and chewing, which shows she's released some of that tension that was there. Good girl. I'm not going to trot her on this rein today. I have done some trot work on the other rein where she's a lot looser because she's just coming back into doing some work. At the moment, I just keep it all in walk because it's amazing how much fitness and strength you can build up just in the slower paces. Here's an interesting fact. What were you just telling Chris?
So I noticed over the last few weeks that with Phoebe's back feet, when I went to pick them out, there was loads of false sole, which is where loads of the sole's coming away. It kind of goes quite flaky, and they were quite smelly, almost smelling a bit like thrush. Even though it wasn't thrush, it's because when they go from barefoot, which Phoebe's was, to having shoes on, this is according to Chris.
Chris, I'm going to put you on camera again.
Yeah, no, because when it was barefoot, it certainly retained its false sole. It's just for protection, isn't it, really? But now it's been shod, the sole's just let go and come out. Yeah. It's back to normal now.
So in theory, this cycle, I shouldn't have any smelly feet with bits of his sole falling out.
Yeah, with any luck.
Yeah.
So Teddy Bear's having his hind shoes replaced. He's definitely been getting a little bit more uncomfortable on those hind legs, and you can see how he's resting that one now. Once he's got them on today, we'll probably rest him for the rest of the day and pop the arc on him, and maybe even give him some paracetamol just to take the edge off it. Look at all those midges swarming around. I love it when these guys read my mind, because I've just come down with Renska thinking I must get Micah and Nika in because Chris is here, so Nika needs her front shoes doing. As you can see there, her feet are a little bit long, so she's just over 6 weeks since they were last done, so she'll have them trimmed and reshod today. But the pair of them were stood down here by the gate waiting to come in. But Micah and Annie both get very, very itchy from the middle of June onwards. It gets quite bad with bugs around here. Annie's already rubbing on me. But Anya, Micah, Hida and Teddy Bear have all been injected with insole, which Sam has had a lot of success with different horses that are particularly irritated by bugs. So I'm hoping that's going to make a difference to them this year. Here's the Noodles. She's got her fresh shoes on. Next time Chris does her, this is going to be a little bit of a challenge for him here. And this is where last year, when she went through the wall, she damaged her coronary band up here. And of course it takes a long time for it to grow down. So as it's growing down, it's splitting further and further across her foot. And as Chris said, it will carry on going along here. So it's going to be quite difficult for him to reshoe this next time round. But he's done worse, and he's, as you know, a super talented farrier. So I'm sure he'll have your feet back in proper shape in no time. But that's the problem when you get an issue around the coronary band. It can take 9 to 12 months really for the hoof to grow all the way down. Meanwhile, Teddy Bear is a bit of a worry, I have to say, at the moment. You obviously saw how uncomfortable he was on that back leg when Chris was trying to do his shoes. And hindsight is always a wonderful thing. But as Chris said, that maybe if he'd not tried to do his worst one first, he wouldn't have been quite so sore with all the others. But just the flexion of that joint while he was doing it made him quite uncomfortable. So he's been able to do his 2 front feet, but we've had to leave his other hind foot for today. And I've got that bandage that's around his leg that he's kicking a little bit there. That's his worst one. And I've put an ice boot on him just to take down the extra inflammation. Now, we know that he's been getting more and more uncomfortable the last week, and I can't put it down to just the fact that his hind feet have grown. That will be a contributory factor, but obviously it's a number of weeks since he had the shockwave therapy. It's now 7 weeks since he had the joints injected. It's not something that could be done every 6 to 7 weeks. So I've got to mull over what the right thing is for him right now, but we're going to rest him for a couple of days. He'll have the other shoe on tomorrow. As we've always said with him, ever since he was diagnosed with this problem, we just take each day as it comes. But he's had some paracetamol, he's had the arc equine on, he's got the ice boot on. In his face, he's happy enough, he's munching, but he's obviously just a bit irritated and a bit uncomfortable. So no more free rein today. This is a bit of a tease for Hoitzer, because this week's feed delivery has arrived. So huge thank you to everybody who's donated feed for the boys and girls. Although Hoitzy's having a little snooze. He's had his pamper for today, and he'll be heading into stable stays tonight. And of course on Wednesday evening with me, Holland Bailey. Little Teddy Bear is still resting. His ice boot has come off now. He'll have another one on later. And then Hole is just out here with tonight's visitors, who are just saying hello to Rainbow Boy. And then I've got Micah here, who's just going to do a little bit of groundwork. So I've got Ian here from Ask Roofing, and we're just talking about this barn that needs re-roofing. And go on, Ian, go on, tell me what you're thinking about this.
Well, it needs to be done properly. New purlins, structural purlins, 3, and re-slate using the existing green slate on the exterior, and that should do.
So this is a very dangerous space at the moment.
Very dangerous. Take all the existing structure out and put new structured purlins in the same places, but losing the middle one by beefing up the existing purlins to a bigger size.
Because you were saying when we just first came in here that this isn't the biggest risk. This
No,
one coming across
here
here.
is the purlins at the top have already failed, so the roof is imminently going to collapse, and it'll collapse in from the top. This beam is likely not to break at the moment because all the weight is actually taking on the top of the roof that's failed. So there's not much pressure on this at the moment, the pressure is at the top. Do your quote to remove everything, the structure, the slates, and then put the structure back and utilise as many of the existing slates as possible, and then bring in good quality slates to match existing in diminishing courses.
Wonderful.
Okay?
You know, this is a testament to Micah's and how good she is, because I had to just leave her in the arena just now in the middle of her groundwork session because Nero was being very mean to Jubbers just because the weather turned. So I've just put Nero inside, and Micah's pretty much stayed where she was when I left her. And we'll carry on now, sweetheart, eh? Sorry about that. Okay, so Bailey has made some more scones. Do you want to come and show everyone?
Okay.
They're looking like they've risen better.
Yeah.
Are you happy with them?
Yes. Oh, I froze the butter this time.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so that was Nancy who suggested you
Yeah.
freeze the butter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, and so you think that's what's made a difference to them rising?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, do we all get to taste them now?
If you want.
Excellent.
Yeah.
There's mine ready to eat. Look, we've got Simon back. He couldn't keep away. There's Mum.
Yeah.
Bailey's just having cream on his. Paul's just having, yeah.
I might try them, but that's them after
Yep.
a wash. I've literally just washed them.
That's fair enough.
The problem is this time of year when you work outside, unless you wear gloves all the time,
Yeah.
because your hands are constantly getting wet and then getting
Exactly.
dirty.
It gets ingrained.
Yeah, and I can scrub these. The only time they come clean is if I fully bath the horse.
Yeah.
That's the
That's the
only
best way
time.
to clean them,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, what was the debate? And we'd be interested to know what everybody else thinks.
Yes, everybody let us know if it's scone or scone.
It's gone.
Scone.
Scone.
Simon.
Scone.
Mum.
Scone.
Carbohydrates.
I say scone, and what do you say, Tamara?
Scone.
Cool. So, yeah, what does everybody else say? There's the Nikki Noodles. She's come back down to the field. Here's Micah. You going to come through as well, sweetie? Come on, Micah. Go and find everyone up at the top, because I've got their equiox to give to Renska, Xiaokia and Hida, who all get one of those a day. So we'll traipse through the stodgy part of the field. So the front of this 14-acre field always gets very stodgy over the winter. But the reason that it is the main winter turnout is because when we get up to the top, it doesn't get anywhere near as poached, and it's good ground. So they're not having to traipse through all the poached muddy sections all the time. There's all the others on the better ground. We might as well bring today's video to a conclusion with another one peeing. That's Nikki News. He was just having a little chat to Doubtson. Dale's now chatting to Micah. I often wonder what they're saying to each other. Asking what they've been up to while they've been up at the yard. There's Xiao over there. With Renska on the left. Here's little Pepper. She's been rolling in muddy puddles, as you can see. Look at that grubby mane there. Now I know I've promised you updates on everybody. Mabel's doing really well. Her foot seems to have healed in a really good way. And if you've not seen Jodie's videos with her, Niki News and Iceman, you'll get more of an update on how she's doing. But I think we're really pleased with her progress. She's been out ride and lead, she's been doing some groundwork. Jodie's taken her out long reining. So she's slowly building her fitness back up, and obviously being out with all these guys helps. That's just Hidda photobombing there. He's constantly moving. And who knows, we may get her back in the carriage in the next couple of months, but there's no immediate rush for it at the moment. And then we've got Spesh here. I should leave Hole to do the update on her, really. You might have caught that she went for a groundwork training session with Mel. I think it was last week, the week before. And she was really good. And Hole's just doing the usual groundwork with her. And just really keeping her entertained and keeping that little busy brain of hers active. She's really well in herself. The foot doesn't seem to be bothering her any more than it usually does. She's getting a little bit tubby again just because all the grass is coming through, and that's always a challenge to keep the weight off her, because obviously she can't do a huge amount of cardiovascular work because of that foot. So a lot of what she does is fairly gentle work in the arena, just keeping her loose and supple like we do with all of them. And then the last of the girls to update you on is Yolanda, who's our biggest girl. So she's Xiao and Nika's sister. Again, Hole works with her, so if you've seen some of Hole's videos, she'll be giving you more information about what she's been doing with her. But again, it's just keeping her loose and supple. She's got the one shoulder bigger than the other, but she's very well in herself. She's a really lovely, lovely character who just takes everything in her stride. She likes being second in command out here to Hidda. Check out some of Hole's videos because she's given some really good updates on her, Xiao and Hannes. Well, I think that just leaves Uber and Iceman and Principal to give you updates on. Just in short, because I'm not with them at the moment. Uber, again, doing very well. As you know, he babysits Nero every now and again. Frey works with him. Just does a little bit of groundwork because he's an older gentleman. He's retired from any real work, so they just have a bit of fun together in the arena. And Principal, well, Principal is Principal, the little albino, as Hole calls him. He's got his rug off now, so there's little white patches everywhere all through the field where he's rolling and getting all his winter coat out. He doesn't seem as like the grumpy old man that he has been for many years, and I think he's quite enjoying being out with Uber, Ice and Hannes, as he has been for, I think it's the last 3 or 4 months. Just a little update on the haylage situation. Philip has moved his sheep out of our 9-acre field, which is our main haylage field over there. They've done a really good job of keeping it nice and level and flat over the winter and keeping it evenly grazed, and now it's just going to rest as soon as this weather stops, which it is going to stop soon. I'll keep the faith. We'll get on there with that fertiliser, get the fertiliser on, and all that muck in the muck heap will go on the 9-acre field and here in the 14-acre field. Once we can get all the girls and Hidda out from here and across over here into the barn field. I'll then get this field harrowed, and then it will be ready to have the muck and the fertiliser spread on it, and then it will just stand here and rest and allow the grass to grow. But it will be a later cut in this field than it is in the 9-acre field, because obviously this has been hammered more over the winter with the horses grazing in here.
I was trying to get the hay out the hay bar, you know when it gets stuck?
Yeah.
So I thought if I come in like this and I'll be able to fish it out, but the problem is I can't balance my body without my arms, so it's no good.
I thought you were stronger than that, Hall. Can I come and put the electric on now?
No, wait.
Would you like a hand? Don't break it. Don't break another hay bar.
If I come to about here, the problem is
Oh, I'm falling over now.
if I rest my head here,
Oh, what
I'd
are you doing?
fill the hay net with the hay so I can get it out.
Right. Is it not better to use a rake to rake it out?
Well, no, because then it goes everywhere.
Okay.